It's the One Micronesia Show, brought to you by Bank of Hawaii. Reach your possible.
Ali, Mogitin, Hafade Zan Tiro, Rananim Kasalari Lengmo and Yakwe. Happy New Year and welcome back to another episode of the One Micronesia Show. Now, before we get to the big show, I'd like to give a huge shout out to my new sponsors, Bank of Hawaii. Thank you so much. Mahalo, Sejuas Maasi, and Kamugal. So here we go. We kick things off with Pohnpeian doctor and now author, Dr. Joseph. Check it out. Our first guest is Dr. Gileian Joseph, a medical doctor whose path to medicine began in Pohnpei, continued through Guam and to military service, and ultimately led to becoming an American doctor. Dr. Joseph recently published his book, Becoming an American Doctor, a deeply personal account of perseverance, identity, and purpose. We began our conversation by talking about how the idea of writing this book came to life.
So, I wanted to write the book because I wanted to share my experience with our community, the Micronesian community, and hopefully inspire the next generation of Micronesians to pursue the careers in medicine and hopefully become a doctor, because we are in severe need of doctors in Micronesia and elsewhere where our people are living, especially like Guam, Hawaii, or the mainland. So it's unfortunate that we don't have a lot of role models and a lot of physicians who are trained in the US, because, to be honest with you, we have a lot of smart people in Micronesia. We just don't have the pathway that is well established for us to follow, or we don't have role models, like I said. So one of my motivation is that, when I realized that I was the second Pohnpeian to ever graduate from a US medical school, it kind of hurts me a little bit, because it's not because we are not smart enough to become doctors. It's just that, there's not a lot of opportunities. And I realized that between the first guy that became a doctor here, the guy's name is Dr. Leandro Albert. He graduated from the same medical school that I went to in 1982 when I was 1 year old. And when I graduated from medical school, I was 37 years old. So it's been like a 36-year span since another person or another Pohnpeian graduated from a US medical school. So I was like, man, that is something that we really need to address and fix in the future. So that plays a lot into me writing the book, just to make sure that, I'm sharing my journey with the Micronesians and hopefully providing some things that I did well and some of the mistakes that I did, and hopefully so that they don't have to make the same mistakes. So
in the book, Dr. Joseph shares many challenges he faced navigating new environments, cultural expectations, and the demanding path of medicine.
Yeah, so the book, basically talk about my entire livelihood, right? I'm still young, I'm in my 40s, but it talked about my upbringing in Pohnpei from a modest beginning, right? So it talks about some of the influences that I had growing up. I talk about my family and my friends and my educational system, but I felt like I have to give context of Pohnpei, Micronesia, and FSM to the outside audience, right? Because if you're not familiar with that, my story probably won't make sense to you. So I spent the first chapter talking about our history of our island and our country and why it's relevant to the United States. And I talked about the fact that a lot of Micronesians migrated outside of Micronesia into the US for better opportunities, education, and joining the military, which I did all of those. So I kind of took like a traditional pathway that most young Micronesians take. I just got lucky at the end because I had some discipline, and I was good in school. So therefore I was able to get into medical school and become a doctor and finish all the training. The book itself, it is good because it talks about success, but it also highlighted some of the challenges that I face and the things that I wish that I did better when I was a child. And hopefully that message will linger on to the other Micronesian students who are wishing to follow the same path, to tell them that to start doing things now before they reach medical school.
We spoke about his recent visit to his home in Pohnpei, a meaningful trip that allowed him to reflect on how far he's come and the roots that continue to ground him.
Well, it's every time I'm planning a trip back home, I'm always happy because I get to see my family and my parents. My parents are still living there, so it's always a positive thing for me every time I go back home. But I have to admit, this trip is a little bit different because in the book, the last chapter of the book, I talked about the healthcare in Pohnpei, and I talked about the issues that we're having at the hospital, and I also talked about some of the solutions that we can do. In addition to increasing funding and buying more equipment and a CAT scan machine, one of the most important that we can do is increase the number of physicians that are working at the hospital. And since we are very short in physicians in Micronesia, one of the programs that helped us in the past is the PPMOT program, or Medical Officer Training Program. So that trip was previously planned before I published the book. The book just happened to publish around the same time that I'm making the trip. So I kind of worked work the book into my schedule already. So my trip is very packed with meetings. And in between the meetings, I was able to talk to some folks and show them the book and talk about the book a little bit. But the main purpose of the trip was to go down there and try to talk to the stakeholders in Pohnpei and within the national government, and to try to elicit their appetite for restarting the new program, right? So I was very humbled because we were very well received by the community. We went to meet the national government. We met with the Assistant Secretary of Health. We presented our proposal and presented some of the data that we had from the previous program, and everybody agreed that we need to do something now, because if we don't, then our scenario will just get worse in the future. But other than the national government, we also had a chance to meet with the governor and talk about the same thing. We also met with the state legislatures, talked to the speaker of the Pohnpei State Legislature, and also we went to the hospital, toured the hospital, and talked to the medical director, or the Department of Health director, and we also met with the doctors that are working at the hospital and kind of chat with them a little bit, ask them their opinions about the program or things that they needed. So I would say that it was a successful trip because we were given the opportunity to learn what they think about the program, and I would say that we're on the right path, and there's a lot of excitement behind it. So hopefully we'll continue on this momentum, and hopefully something will turn out within the next 5 years or so. But it will take a lot of political will and sacrifice and a whole lot of money for us to restart the program. But like I said, I mentioned it in the book that I wanted to start the program, and I went down there to try to advocate for the program. So I felt like, I just didn't put that idea in the book. That's not an idea. It's a goal that I wanted to do. So I was very, like I said, I'm very happy that I was able to do it and do it in that manner that worked out well for us and for the community.
Yeah. So the book itself, it's on Amazon. However, if you can't buy it or afford it, and I can give it away for free, because my goal is to share the message, and the message is the most important thing. But I would like to say that one more thing: it's to become a doctor, it takes a lot of work and sacrifice, right? So one of the things that I want to mention here is that when before I went to medical school, I was in the Imiahola program, and I spent a year in that program. And that program is very good for our people, because that's the program that has worked for us for the past 30 years. It's a highly competitive program that requires pure dedication and discipline. So when I was in that program, I missed the birth of my son. And I didn't see my son until my son was already 4 months old, because if I have to fly back home and see him, I will lose a lot of time and focus. And so therefore we decided that I couldn't do that. Instead, I would stay on in Hawaii and study, which I did, and I ended up being successful. But it just goes to show it's not easy. It takes a lot of discipline, dedication, but it's well worth it, because being a doctor, the most rewarding job out there, because you get to help out your neighbors, your family, and it's a very rewarding job. And it's something that it's well worth it to pursue, especially if you want to be in that career field. So
Dr. Joseph's story is a testament to what's possible when determination meets purpose, and a powerful reminder for Micronesian youth that their dreams are valid no matter where they begin. If you get a chance to read that book, either a physical copy or a digital copy, go ahead and do so, because it's such an inspiring one, and I'm pretty sure you'd enjoy it. Guys, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with more of the One Micronesia Show.
It's the One Micronesia Show, brought to you by Bank of Hawaii. Reach your possible. It's the One Micronesia Show, brought to you by Bank of Hawaii. Reach your possible.
And we're back. The show continues, and this time we talk to Chamorro visual artist Gileian Dwanus. Check it out. Our second guest is Gileian Dwanus, a Chamorro visual artist and a student whose work has been exhibited across the United States, Hawaii, and Guam. Most recently, Gileian was selected as one of 6 Micronesian artists featured in the Ocean of Peace exhibition at the Maui Arts and Cultural Center, an exhibition highlighting Micronesian voices through multiple artistic disciplines. We started by asking Gileian how her love for art first began.
Growing up, as a little girl, I always loved to draw. In kindergarten, when I learned how to read, I started to illustrate and write my own picture books, and I would bring them to class with me, and my teacher would let me share them with the class. So even as far back as I can remember, I really loved to make art and storytell in that way. After I graduated high school, I was kind of going through a really rough time, and also just trying to connect with my Chamorro identity, and also just figure out who I was as a person in general. And so when I started college, art was a really big medicine for me in that way, and a way for me to connect with others in the diaspora and others back home, and yeah, just learn more about our legacy of storytelling as Chamorros, learning about the pottery designs and the cave drawings, and our ancient and traditional jewelry. So yeah, once I was in college and started to become more of a young adult, I really took art more seriously, and yeah, here I am today.
Gileian's journey reflected both growth and intention, using art as a way to express identity, culture, and lived experience. Being chosen to participate in the Ocean of Peace exhibition was a moment of pride, not just personally, but collectively. The exhibition brought together artists from across Micronesia, creating space for connection, representation, and storytelling.
So our exhibition at the Maui Arts and Cultural Center, that's the first exhibition that's been in that space that features all Micronesian artists. And I think one of the really cool things, out of the many really cool things about the space, is that we have weaving and carving, and then other traditional media like charcoal painting, but also digital painting. And I think it really reflects how we do carry forth our traditions and our old stories, but bring them forward into a contemporary context and show that, yeah, we are contemporary peoples, and we are expanding the ways that our ancestors were creative and the ways that they created art. And yeah, being able to talk to folks at the exhibition space, local people on Maui, and yeah, getting to talk to them about our stories and the things that are reflected in our particular pieces, and them being able to see wow, we do something really similar, or that's a very similar cultural value that we have, with the weaving and stuff. And just the different animals that are important to us in our islands. And yeah, so being able to build those connections through the artwork and talking about it with the folks that are engaging with it has been really special.
We also talked about what this opportunity meant for her as a Micronesian artist, and how it continues to shape her creative direction.
I think we're all trying to forge this path where we are addressing like the lateral violence and the ways that we've hurt one another, and trying to mend those wounds, because at the end of the day, we have genealogical ties that go back thousands and thousands of years, and we need to remember that and to honor that. And we have so much to learn from one another and celebrate with one another. So I hope this is just one of many more to come of spaces like that.
Looking ahead, Gileian shared her hopes for the future, continuing to create, learn, and contribute to spaces where Micronesian art is seen, valued, and respected.
Well, I'll be finishing my master's program in Pacific Island Studies at UH Manoa, so I'm very excited for that. Hoping to continue my academic journey. We'll see if that pans out. But I definitely want to continue doing more community art projects. This last year I had the honor and privilege of doing 3 different community mural and mosaic projects with students, middle school students and community college students in Hawaii. So I hope to do more of that kind of work. I think that's what really motivates me, is getting to share that gift of creating with others and seeing especially young people get excited about creating art and storytelling. So hopefully more of that. But I'll just, whatever opportunities come my way, I will try my best to seize them and make the most of them.
Through her work, Gileian reminds us that art is more than expression. It's preservation, resistance, and legacy.
I love our people so much. I think we are so beautiful and intelligent and innovative and inspiring, and I know it can be hard to feel like that in a lot of spaces, but I think when we find each other and are able to hold each other through those difficult things, it makes it a lot easier.
Thank you so much, Gileian, for your time. And guys, if you guys want to go follow her and support her, go do so on her social media. Guys, I want to take a break and we're back with more of One Micronesia Show.
It's the One Micronesia Show, brought to you by Bank of Hawaii. Reach your possible. It's the One Micronesia Show, brought to you by Bank of Hawaii. Reach your possible.
The One Micronesia Show continues, and now we talk to John Howard, the founder of FAS, a group here on Guam who does amazing things from sports to community work. And for this one, they did an end of the year event where they cleaned up and they barbecued for the homeless. Check it out. As 2025 came to an end, FAS hosted one final event, a community cleanup in Derido, followed by a barbecuing serving members of the homeless community. John shared how the event came together and why it was important to end the year by giving back.
So it's a collaboration with the Derido Mayor. We started it with the former Mayor Safaris, and we are fortunate that the current Mayor also happy to continue that collaboration. So we just pick up trash from the Derido Sports Complex all the way to the Waisingsong traffic light, and then around those buildings, the old flea market, and then at the end we just have a barbecue with the homeless, and it's really just to show and promote good citizenship, responsibility, and good role models for our youth to take responsibility and also take care of the islands, pick up the trash, and the homeless community is always the less fortunate. So we want to have that also space for them to just enjoy that special moment.
We also discussed his recent article published in the paper, a piece that highlighted important issues facing the community and sparked meaningful conversation.
The important part of it is that the COFA, the Compact of Free Association between the U.S. and the FSM, it's a bridge that kind of bring the gap together, the gap between us and these islands, right? So it is important to understand the compact, why we are here, because we are here because of that treaty and that privilege, and it's also important that we continue the collaboration with all these existing programs, that we need to take advantage of, and abide by the laws, and just be a good citizen, and always remember that we are guests here in Guam, and we have to respect the land, respect the law, and respect the people. And the thing that we need for our leaders to understand, especially our leaders in FSM, that the activities that we do is to support the intent of the comeback. That we are here, we have to be law-abiding citizens, and these programs, these activities that we engage the youth is to support that intention. To be productive and responsible FSM citizen in Guam.
Looking ahead, John spoke about what's next for FAS in 2026, upcoming initiatives, continued outreach, and the organization's ongoing mission.
2025, we were able to establish maybe 4 events. The Micronesian Youth Summit. Yeah, that's a collaboration with the Wave Club and Manianu and DYA, the Trades Academy. We hope to continue that. And then we also started the FSM Mini Goodwill Game. We also hope to continue that one. We also started the FSM High Schoolers All-Star Basketball Championship. Yeah, hope to continue that. Maybe even include volleyball or basketball for girls, because we need that in FSM. The last one, I think the friendship games. We like to continue this friendship game that we between our islands. We went to Panapay, but this year we like to go to Balal. And the beginning of this year, we will have the FAS Yamaha fishing therapy. Yeah, that's gonna be happening also next year, 2026.
John's work reflects the power of consistency, compassion, and community-driven leadership.
Well, we just want to thank you, especially the leaders that continue to support our efforts in keeping our youth engaged and busy with our positive activities. We hope that they continue, supporting us, focus on positive, mindset. The goal here is not to compete, but to help our community productive and peaceful and be responsible. So just be safe out there. Happy New Year.
What a way to close out a year. Now I'm so excited to see what you guys got in stores for 2026. Guys, we're going to take a break and we'll be back with more of the One Micronesia Show.
It's the One Micronesia Show, brought to you by Bank of Hawaii. Reach your possible. It's the One Micronesia Show, brought to you by Bank of Hawaii. Reach your possible.
And we're back. But before we close out, it's now time for the One Mic Jam Sesh. Let's go. pretty much wraps up another amazing episode here in 2026. Guys, I'm so excited for what's to come here on the show, but I hope you guys are excited too, because I have faith that this year, it's going to be great. That pretty much wraps it up. I want to thank Bank of Hawaii for sponsoring, and thank you guys for always watching at home and everywhere around the world. My name is Victorious, and all I got to say is peace.
It's the One Micronesia Show, brought to you by Bank of Hawaii. Reach your possible.